All right, everyone, let's talk about something really exciting coming to Raid Shadow Legends pretty soon, and we have been getting more and more hints about this lately. They actually posted something on the official Facebook page as well as the Twitter feed, which is, in my opinion, just the rock-solid evidence that this is 100% happening, and it's going to be happening soon. Now, I will show you guys on the screen, but I'll also link this in the description if you guys want to take a look at it on your own. But here is the actual Twitter feed from the official Raid Shadow Legends account, and we have a tweet here with a pretty cool looking image. Let's take a look at this. Terrible nightmares plague those who are gifted with foresight, be they elvish scryers or nomadic shamans of the Deadlands. As darkness grows and shadows thicken, so too evil grows in power. Soon Talaria's champion shall be tested once more. Now, the text is pretty cool, but it's really the image that is worth taking a look at, because there are a lot of hints that are pretty rock-solid evidence of Nightmare campaign difficulty coming soon. And the first one, of course, is who the image actually is of. Now, if you go back to the actual campaign and you take a look at the boss, the final boss of the 12th stage, you'll see it's this guy right here. So pretty clear that this is going to be a hint for campaign. Obviously, stage 12 is going to be what most people are farming. This boss, out of all the campaign bosses, especially for mid and late game players, probably going to be the most recognizable one just because he is in stage 12. So I think he's a pretty good boss image to represent some sort of change coming soon with the campaign mode. Now, something else really important about this image is the actual level of the boss as well. So if you take a look and see, you'll actually see his little health and level bar right here, and it displays level 200. So if you go back to the brutal difficulty, you'll see, well, of course, brutal difficulty is not going to be level 200, not even close. We're only looking at a level 105 boss. So when you add it up, it seems pretty clear to me that this is going to be the release of the Nightmare difficulty campaign. So we know it's coming. It's not anything really too new. We've known that the Nightmare difficulty campaign has been coming to the game for a long time now. They talked about it, I believe, in their Discord server and through some other social media platforms a while ago, maybe even before the official roadmap. But now that they are starting to drop more and more hints like this, we know that it is going to be coming relatively soon. Now, if you're wondering how soon, we obviously still don't have a date yet. Plarium doesn't really seem to do that. They kind of just seem to drop the updates. They will give more and more teasers and spoilers as we get closer. But what I did is I went back and I took a look at other teasers for other things that have come out in Raid Shadow Legends, like the Faction Wars, the release of the Dwarves, and I went and I looked at when they actually started to tease it on things like Twitter and Facebook, and then I went and saw when it was actually released, and I got a range of dates from anywhere from just a few days up until about 3 weeks or so. So my prediction is it's definitely going to be coming out sometime within the next couple of weeks. It could actually be even sooner than that, but it's not like they end up making hints like this and then we don't end up getting it for a really long time. I think with this tweet, with this kind of clear, rock-solid evidence, with the level 200 of the stage 12 boss, it's going to be happening sometime within the next couple of weeks. So that actually changes a lot, and knowing that the Nightmare campaign difficulty is going to be coming soon, well, what does that mean? What does that mean for everyone? If you're a beginner, if you're an intermediate player, if you're a more advanced player, well, let me tell you guys some things that you might want to kind of consider with the Nightmare difficulty releasing soon. So let's focus a little bit on this level 200, because I took a look at that and I thought to myself, that's really interesting. So this should give us a rough estimate of how difficult the Nightmare campaign is actually going to be. So let's take a look at some other bosses and actually see what level they are. And if you end up going to the dungeons, of course, we've had these stages 16 through 20 released of the actual artifact farming dungeons. These have been out for a while now. But if you take a look and see and you go to roughly level 200, you're looking at around stage 16. You have a 200 void, 15 levels below for stage 15. 17 is 20 levels above. So, you know, somewhere between stage 15 to 17. But I think that the dungeons, even at the same difficulty level, like if you took a campaign boss that was this level, then you took a dungeon boss stage that was the same level, I think the dungeon stages are probably a little bit more difficult because the fights are a little bit more complex, the bosses are a little bit more complex. So I would honestly say that even though the dragon, for example, is level 200 and the teaser image for the campaign boss is also level 200, I would take a guess that the campaign stage is still going to be easier than stage 16 of the dungeons. And it really does make sense too, because the campaign is not really the place in the game for the most difficult content. If you guys are farming the brutal stages of the campaign, there is probably still a good chance that you are not reaching the final stages of the dungeons, and that is 100% by design. That is the way the game is. It's set up into these stages, and once you end up finishing and are able to farm brutal campaign stages, which is the highest difficulty for campaign right now, that does not mean that you'll be able to tackle the hardest difficulty stages for other content. There is a massive difference when it comes to power levels, so to me it makes sense. Now, when we go back to the actual bosses that we have right now in Brutal Campaign, let's take a look at the level differences between Brutal and Hard, and then Hard and Normal, because I think this is something else interesting that some people might have not really picked up on yet. So if we go to the Brutal boss, of course, he's level 105. So the level difference between the Brutal Campaign boss and the teaser image that we have right here is 95 levels. That's a pretty big jump, almost twice the amount of levels that we have right now from the Brutal boss. That is definitely not something that is true when you jump down from Brutal to Hard and Hard to Normal. So now let's jump down a level or a difficulty. So level 105, and if you go to the Hard difficulty, the boss is level 70. So that is a difference of 35 levels. So you have a difference of 35 levels from Hard to Brutal, and then you have a difference of 95 levels from Brutal to the supposed Nightmare difficulty. And now let's go to Normal, and the Normal boss is going to be level 50. So from 70 to 50, you have a difference of 20 levels. So from the Normal boss to Hard is a jump of 20 levels. From the Hard boss to the Brutal boss is a jump of 35 levels. And now from the Brutal to the Nightmare teaser, you have a jump of 95 levels. So this could mean a whole lot of things. And what I would like, now obviously this might not be true, but I have a feeling like it's going to be more true than less true, is it's also going to reflect the rewards of doing the the new Nightmare campaign. So right now, you can calculate, and there's a bunch of spreadsheets that are out there if you look this up, the rewards that you get for farming the different difficulties based on how much energy you spend. So you can calculate how much experience per energy and how much silver per energy you're going to get from Normal at a cost of 4 energy per run. Then, of course, Hard is 6 energy, which is 50% more energy, but the game wants to obviously incentivize you for being able to clear more difficult content. So even though it costs 50% more energy, it's going to end up giving you more than 50% the reward. So it's a bit more than that. And the same from the jump from Hard to Brutal. So you go from 6 energy up to 8 energy a run, which is a 33.3% increase in energy. But of course, the rewards are going to be greater than a 33.3% increase. So as you go up in the difficulties, the energy goes up, but you also still end up getting more rewards in terms of experience and silver per actual energy spent. Now, I don't remember right off the top of my head what the differences are between Normal and Hard and Brutal in terms of how much additional experience per energy and silver per energy, but I know that it's not absolutely massive. It's not like you get 10 times more experience per energy or 10 times more silver per energy if you step up from Normal to Hard or Hard to Brutal. It is still a decent amount, and it absolutely will add up in the long term, which is why if you can farm Brutal, you want to stick to doing that instead of farming a lower difficulty. But I believe it's somewhere closer to like the 10, 15, 20% range. So if you are farming stage 3 on Brutal, for example, I know the number for this one is when you farm stage 3 Brutal, if you have a double experience boost running and you also have the raid pass going, each champion in your team, if you have a full team, of course, is going to get 10,382 or 83 experience. So a bit over 10,000. Now, I am hoping that when the Nightmare difficulty comes out, I'm guessing it's going to cost 10 energy. Maybe it's more than that. But if it costs 10 energy, if it were following roughly the same trends that Normal to Hard, and then hard to brutal followed, it would give you approximately, 13, 14,000 experience per champion or so, something around that. Might be a little bit lower, might be a little bit higher, but in that general range. I'm kind of hoping it's a little bit higher than what it should be because of this difficulty jump from the boss going from level 105 all the way up to level 200. I'm kind of hoping that if Nightmare were to cost 10 energy, then instead of giving like 13 or 14,000 experience per champion, I'm kind of hoping it gives somewhere between like 16 and 18,000 experience. I think that would be really cool, and it makes a lot of sense given the teaser of that level jump with the boss as well. So what does this mean? I've thrown a lot of info at you guys. A lot of this is speculation, of course. Now, I still do think that this is the rock solid evidence that Nightmare is coming, and it's coming soon. It's pretty clear with the image of the boss and the actual level and the wording that they used in the tweet as well. I mean, they said terrible nightmares plague those who are gifted with foresight. It's right there at the start. So I think it's pretty clear it's coming soon. The details of that are obviously a little bit unknown. Now, given some general information, what are some things that you can do to prepare? What are things you want to keep in mind? Well, if you guys are farming the campaign right now, I would try not to over farm it, knowing that the Nightmare campaign is probably going to be coming soon. This is going to be more true for more advanced players than it is going to be for beginner players. I mean, if you're a beginner player and you're not farming brutal anyway, this probably isn't going to really change a whole lot because you still need to be doing the content that you're doing right now to progress. But those of you guys who are farming brutal, if you do these runs, if you have a good campaign farmer, those of you guys who are doing 6, 7, 8 second runs, or just any kind of brutal farming for experience in silver, I would tend not to over farm it right now. The reason is because the amount of energy that you are going to use right now compared to the amount of energy that you're going to use when Nightmare comes out, and the rewards that you get in terms of experience in silver, when the Nightmare difficulty comes out, obviously you're going to get better rewards. You're going to get more experience and silver per energy. So if you wait until it comes out, you're going to actually get more value out of the energy that you put in. And based off of the difficulty, I think a lot of people who are farming the stage 14 through 16 dungeons, I don't think you guys will have a problem with the Nightmare difficulty campaign with the boss showing level 200. So you don't want to go too crazy right now, spending a ton of energy leveling up food. You don't want to over farm food, like make this kind of a mistake right here. I don't know, this is a lot of 4 stars that I have leveled up already. You probably don't want to go too crazy farming too many rank 5 fodder champions to rank up champions to 6, given that we've been hinted at Nightmare coming out, and all the info that we have. I would hold off, maybe spend your energy on other stuff like dungeons or maybe Minotaur, and try not to go too crazy on the campaign for the time being, because we are going to get a more efficient farm in terms of experience in silver. The question really is, how much more experience and silver is it going to end up being? I'm hoping it's more than it is less. What does this mean as well for levels? We've also been hinted that the level cap is going to be going up to 70. This was hinted at a long time ago. I'm going to guess that it's going to go up to 70 when Nightmare comes out, but who knows? Maybe it'll even be higher. What about the energy cap? I think the energy cap really needs to go up as well, especially if Nightmare is going to come out and the campaign runs are going to cost 10, possibly 12 energy each. This could mean more than just the Nightmare campaign coming out. This could mean a whole lot of things, and of course with an entire new campaign setting coming out as well, we're going to get a whole bunch of one-time rewards to go with that. So fun stuff coming up soon. I thought I would make a video talking about this a little bit, kind of giving you guys my opinions, my thoughts, and my analysis as well, and hopefully you guys are excited for this as well. So I'm going to leave it here for this video. Thank you guys, everyone, for watching. If you are interested in the actual tweet or the Facebook with the actual images, I will link it in the description. And if you guys have any questions or anything you want to talk about, feel free to let me know in the comments. If you guys enjoyed this video and you want more videos like this in the future, consider subscribing to the channel. And of course, if you guys have a quick second and you don't mind dropping a like, it helps out a lot as well. We've gotten to around 17,500 subscribers, so thank you so much, everyone. Really do appreciate all the support on the channel lately. And until next time, this is Salt of the Salty Guild, signing out.